So with that, I'd like to welcome everyone to the Buffalo BioSciences lecture series in the life sciences. Today, this lecture is co-sponsored by the Center of Excellence, as normal, but also the Tech Transfer Office at the University at Buffalo called the STOR. And we're joined today by a guest lecturer from industry, Megan McBride, Dr. Megan McBride, who's the Assistant Product Manager at Taconic Labs. And we're going to talk today about actually the use and the economic models behind using animals as disease models in the drug discovery process and other kind of pharmaceutical endeavors. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mike Fowler, who's the Commercialization Manager at STOR, to introduce Dr. McBride. Mike?
You're just trying to make me nervous. I'm Mike Fowler. I'm with the UB Office of Science, Technology Transfer, and Economic Outreach, otherwise known as STOR. We are the Technology Transfer Office at the University of Buffalo. When most people think of tech transfer offices, they think of the part of the university which is involved in taking inventions, patenting them, and then licensing them off to pharmaceutical companies for beaucoup bucks. And what I really like about today's talk is it shows that there is no real cookie-cutter method to apply to commercialization. Transgenic animals are really very valuable research tools, but the ultimate value for them is in whatever, say, drug they discover, and that's where the real value is. So when you approach this type of technology, it becomes very imperative that you take a different approach than you would with a lead drug. The best way to look at it is we don't know where that drug is coming from, who has that drug. If we license a company A and they aren't the ones, and they needed this model to get to that drug, we've created a real disservice to the public because we've blocked a cure. And when you look at that type of model, then what you want to do is to license it as broadly as possible, to get it out there so everybody can see it and take it and use it. Now that carries with it certain implications, one of which is you may not need a patent on it then, because that doesn't really add value to you. What the real value is in that mouse line, or in a research tool like that, is the validation you put into it, the amount of information that goes back into it. And in a previous life, I ran into a similar example. There's a company called Crucell. And what they have is a cell line. They have no patent on that cell line. It's the Percy 6 line. What they do have is reams and reams of validation data showing that that cell line is safe. It produces the medicinals at a high level. It's virus-free, and most importantly, that the FDA will accept it. And because of that, that company thrives and does an incredible amount of business licensing that cell line out to pharmaceutical companies with no patents involved whatsoever. It's all that validation involved. In the like vein, Dr. McBride comes from a company, Taconic Farms, which is an animal supply company in the Albany area, capital region. And I dare say that most of their money comes from using standard animal models that have been around for decades, C57 Black 6 and such. And what they do is provide you with a model, an animal when you need it, that's healthy, virus-free, and no surprises. And that creates a significant amount of revenue for them. But we are always interested in having people from industry come and talk about different areas, so we invited her to come and discuss transgenic animals and research tools in general, and how those can be commercialized with public good. I'm just reading my notes here. Dr. McBride is an Assistant Product Manager for Taconic Farms, and she joined them in 2006, and she is actually in the Emerging Models program, which is the transgenic animal branch for Taconic Farms. She earned an AB in chemistry from Princeton University and a PhD in chemistry from Pennsylvania State University. And her doctoral studies focused on nuclear receptors and their role in drug discovery. And she has a research experience in molecular biology, cell biology, and chemical biology. And before joining Taconic, she worked for a contract research startup company. So I can't think of anybody better to help discuss this research tool area and the commercialization thereof. And that's when I'll hand it over.